Hey guys, it's Helen Hart-Smith here again from the Heart of the Witch's Path YouTube channel. Welcome back. It's almost Samhain. I'm so excited. Samhain is like my favorite Sabbat, and it's one that my entire coven, we really enjoy and look forward to our ritual, and I think a lot of us, it's our favorite Sabbat as well. So this time of year, I love it. I like layering clothes. I like the crispness in the air. I like the leaves turning, and I think there's probably quite a few of you out there that kind of feel the same way. So anyhow, this video is all about vegetarian options for Samhain. And this video is actually requested by Lisa in Canada. Hi, Lisa! Thank you for the suggestion. She asked if I could share some of like my favorite foods for this season and just kind of talk about food. I can do that, sure. So I have a couple of books that I like to reference. Well, it's more than one, but I have a couple of books for this video when it comes to foods that are appropriate that I referenced really early on in my practice when I was just getting used to what kind of foods were appropriate for the different Sabbats. And the first one, I'm pretty sure I've talked about this book before. This is Sabbat Entertaining by Willow, Polson. And I think I've heard other people talking about this book as well. And this is so valuable to me. I don't think I would ever get rid of this book. Covers each of the 8 Sabbats, and what it is it basically has recipes, it has menus, and it has craft ideas and activities for each of the 8 Sabbats. And so I picked this up early on in my path, and I love it. Love it. And so, like I said, there's actual menus, and so I just thought I'd talk about a couple of the recipes, and maybe if anyone was interested, then maybe I could reference them on the blog or something like that. So if any of this sounds good to you, then let me know and I can share some things. Or if you have this book or the other one that I kind of want to touch on, then you're all good. But there's a pomegranate salad in here that's really easy. It's just dicing up some fruit and throwing it together, and some jicama root. I have to say jicama specifically because the roomie had to tell me how to say it because I was saying jicama or something. Anyhow, there's also a recipe in here called black and white chili that the roomie and I just made today. Holy cow, it is a great recipe. It's beans, it's yellow onions, it's some sun-dried tomatoes, and some other spices. There's cocoa in here, guys, and it's really a stinking awesome dish. We really like this. This is gonna be a repeat offender in our menu repertoire for sure. So, and there's a few other recipes in here, and so definitely some good stuff in here. And the other book that I pulled out is this Halloween book by Silver Ravenwolf. This is part of that 8-book series that Llewellyn did a few years ago. And this one's got some really interesting recipes in it too. And some of the ones that stuck out to me was there's a witch's brew recipe. There was a pumpkin bread. There was something called green man cake. Divination donuts. There's like over 20 pages worth of recipes in this book that I really appreciated. And another thing that I liked was that there was a serving blessing that was in here that Silver included. There was a cooking blessing, general ingredient blessing. So that I really appreciated. And then when you got into some of the actual recipes, she put in parentheses, like magic that could be made with that particular ingredient. For instance, pumpkin is for abundance and apple cider is for love and different things like that. So any of those things, there's a lot of vegetarian options in here that I kind of want to go look at some more for this season. So there's that. Now, as far as things that I make or like or whatever, usually we do, so my coven, I'm the only person that is vegetarian. There are others among us that will eat vegetarian options with me, like they'll do a veggie pizza with me or whatever, but I'm the only, well, no, Miss Crystal has some really specific dietary restrictions, but that's health issues. I'm the only vegetarian, if that makes sense. So anyhow, everybody likes Kathy's pulled pork. And so one dish that complements with that very well is what we've started calling Rosemary's baby potatoes. And so it's simple. I've actually done it in the oven and I've done it in a crock pot. I think the oven, it turns out best, but it's just some diced potatoes with some olive oil and garlic and any other spices, and then some fresh sprigs of rosemary. You throw that baby in the oven and you let it cook until the potatoes are tender, and that goes over really well. Like if there's any leftovers, there are people saying, I want to take that home with me. So that's how I like to cook. I like to cook something that people are going to like and that it's either gone at the end of the festivity or people want it and I don't have to take it home. That's my favorite kind of dish. So yeah, Rosemary's baby potatoes, that's a favorite. Any kind of veggie soup for me, for actually both of us here at the household, we like soups in the wintertime and in the fall and stuff like that. And so a vegetable soup is another super easy vegetarian dish that we actually do a lot during the week. Throw it in the crock pot, let it go all day. And, you know, a lot of times I use my own. Hey guys, sorry about that little break in the action. My phone ran out of room and I had to go delete some things. It happens. Anyhow, so I make my own vegetable stock, and so that way we know what's going into it and there's less sodium and stuff like that. So vegetable soup, awesome recipe for, you know, any crispy, cool time. And so by the same extension, any soup. So squash soup is another great vegetarian option for this time of year. I had a recipe, but I'm not sure where it went, where you actually use, because I think some squash recipes call for like a cream or something like that. So, but I want to say this one that I had, it called for vegetable stock. And doing this video has made me remember that, and I like squash soup, and so I kind of want to go find that. So thanks, Lisa, for asking for this video. So yeah, squash soup. Now, I am not afraid to admit that for this time of year, I like pumpkin. I like pumpkin bread. I like pumpkin pie. I don't like all the pumpkin stuff that's out. You know, the pumpkin latte thing might be a little too much for me. But I definitely like a good pumpkin cookie or, you know, pumpkin pastry type thing. So that's a great vegetarian dessert that, that lots of people like. Another thing that I like too is cornbread, and I actually just made some cornbread tonight because I thought it would be really good with that black and white chili, and it's really good. And this is the first time that I actually made it with almond milk, and so that was a yummy, delicious treat that you can partake of. So cornbread is awesome. So yeah, so those are some of my favorite dishes, vegetarian dishes. Now, like I said, my coven tends to like Kathy's pulled pork, and it's delicious pulled pork. I kind of miss it from going vegetarian. And for For any of us good witches out there, we know that Samhain is actually the third harvest, and it's the meat harvest. So traditionally, that's when animals like pigs and things like that were slaughtered, that, you know, you could cure the meat and have it for over the cold months and stuff like that, have meats to sustain you and your family. So meat is kind of important to this Sabbat. And I like to, even though I am vegetarian and, you know, that makes things meatless for me, obviously, I like to try to do some variations on meat dishes so that you're not like sticking out too much, kind of a thing. And so for pulled pork, there's actually a vegetarian option out there that I really like. This is the Morningstar Farms veggie pulled pork that the roomie and I have gotten numerous times. As a matter of fact, we just had a wedding a couple of weeks ago and they were having pulled pork on the menu. So we heated ours up before we left. This is in the frozen section, in case you're wondering. We heated up our little baggie of veggie pulled pork and we took it with us, and we had barbecue sauce and the buns there at the reception, and we just put our own veggie pulled pork, and it's actually really good. And it's a very basic flavor, and there's a lot of options like this that are coming out, so that we have other options to kind of try. So those are some well, not really recipes, but some food suggestions for what I like to have for this time of year. I would really be interested to hear some other options that you folks, you vegetarians or vegans out there, are loving or interested in, or what have you. So maybe we could share some links to some recipes or something like that. I know that there's lots of vegetarian recipes out there on YouTube because I've checked them out. As a matter of fact, I don't know if it's on the Heart of the Witch's Path channel. It might be on my my regular channel. I do have a playlist of vegetarian options that I go back and reference. As a matter of fact, I learned about and how to make vegetarian stock from a YouTube video. So check that out. List some stuff below. If you like this video and want some other videos like this where I kind of talk about options for what I'm going to eat for different Sabbath feasts and stuff like that, let me know. That's definitely something that I would love to do for you guys, just to give some suggestions to share and spark some conversation. I always like that. So if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel. And like I said, drop some comments below, or if you're not comfortable dropping that in, dropping any questions or anything like that in the comments section, then definitely send me an email at heartofthewitchespath@yahoo.com and check out the Instagram. I'm trying to remember to post a tarot card a day, just to kind of put some thoughts out there and some influences and things like that. So that's going to be it for this time. Thanks for watching, and thanks for walking the path for a little while with me. Until next time, blessed be.